Hey guys, so as this title says, this is going to be some quick reviews of some of the books that I read in 2016. I know it's March, but I think I only read 6 books. It's kind of bad, but you know what? I understand why. I was in the biggest reading slump ever, and one book would take me 2 to 3 weeks to finish. So yeah, I'm not gonna feel bad about it because you know what? Sometimes I think I got burnt out by all the reading and I needed a break, and now I'm back. So yeah, let's get started. There's 6 books in total. I'm gonna start off with the 2 books that I actually don't own right now. The first one is Winter by Marissa Mayer. I actually borrowed this from a friend, or a family friend actually, because the girl's like 13 or 14, so technically that would be weird for me to be friends with her. I borrowed it, I read it, I really enjoyed it, I gave it 4 stars. Non-spoiler, of course. I love Cress and Thorn. They were my favorite out of this whole series. So there weren't too many exclusive Cress or exclusive Thorn chapters out of this whole book. So I was very frustrated with it. Also, I was really frustrated that the gang kept on breaking up and like they kept on like losing one person here and losing one person and then coming back together and then again losing. It was really frustrating. I just wanted them all to be together and to plan together and to do a heist together or to do break through Queen Levana's whatever together. Not everyone's in a different place and then once they get back together someone else is lost. Anyways, you get what I mean. I think those are the 2 things that really frustrated me, and that's why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Other than that, I loved the writing. I have to admit that sometimes I did skim just because it was a very long book, like a really long book, and some of the descriptive paragraphs I found no interest in reading. But overall, it was a very nice and thrilling ending, I have to say, and I cannot wait to read Stars Above, even though I already know who's getting married because yeah, I don't like not knowing. The next book is another one that I don't have with me right now. My co-blogger Arshia has it because she wants to read it, and it's The Dark Days Club by Alison Goodman. This book is a historical novel that is also supernatural with some paranormal elements. So the closest one I would describe it to is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, in the sense that the girl finds out that the reason why she's here is to hunt demons and kill them. She has to come to terms with whether she wants to do that or not, but there's a lot of other things and some people aren't really telling her the full truth and stuff, and it's historical, so basically the girl has to be, you know, prim and proper, and she can't go out, and like all these limitations that frustrated me so much. And her uncle is a prick because her parents are actually dead, and she's been told all her life that her parents betrayed her, but then she finds out that her mom was also a demon hunter, and there's a huge story behind that. I really liked this story. It was a very slow-paced story though. It took me a while to get into it. I was buddy reading it with Giselle at Book Nerd Canada, and yeah, it took a while to read it, but I think I kind of reveled in how slowly we took it because we would discuss things every 60 or so pages, and it took, I think it made us focus more on the details and pinpoint things that we wouldn't have if we were reading it really fast or alone. So I did enjoy it. I really loved the protagonist. I loved how kick-butt she was. I liked how independent she was, even though everything was basically against her, from the culture to, you know, how a woman was treated and looked at back in the olden days. So really liked it. The ending, or the last couple of chapters, were full of action to the point that when I finished that book, I'm like, can I have book 2? Like, desperately. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely recommend it for sure. The next book that I read is Burn for Burn by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. This book has been praised so much by so many people, including my sister. Unfortunately, when I read it, it felt really childish to me. I don't know, it was very childish, from the problems these girls were having to the whole paranormal aspect of this book that suddenly came on at the end, like, where did that come from? And then it just seemed like really childish and the way that it was written was definitely for much younger teens. I don't know. I love Jenny Han, so I'm kind of surprised that this book just didn't impress me at all. And I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars, but I don't know if I'm going to continue on with this series. The next book that I read was mind-blowing, and it is The Year We Fell Apart by Emily Martin. This book is the reason why I love contemporary books. Like, this reminded me why contemporary is like my favorite genre. This talks about a girl who finds out that her mother has cancer, and also she used to be best friends with two guys. One is called Declan, the other one is, don't know what his name is, but basically when they grew up, obviously she started having feelings for Declan, and then things kind of got complicated, and then he kind of moves away, but she has some guilt because apparently they don't talk anymore now, and you don't know why they don't talk anymore. And then it's set on the summer when he comes back after being a year studying abroad somewhere, and then she sees him, and then like all these things come forward, and a lot of emotional struggle because Declan's mother passed away when they were a bit younger, so she knows what he went through, but she can't talk to him, and she's going through a lot of issues with her mother's cancer and what her mother is going through and what she's going through because of her. So it's a very emotional book, but it was done really well. The friends were really good friends in this book. There was no backstabbing, annoying pests in this book, and the problems felt very real, and I could sympathize a lot with Declan, with Harper, with everyone. And there's no love triangle, just putting it out there. Definitely one of my favorite contemporaries so far, for sure. Not so far, because I only read 6 books, but it's definitely in my top favorite contemporaries of all time. And then I read a book that kind of took a while for me, and it is City of the Lost by Kelly Armstrong. This is a mystery thriller kind of novel. And this is the first book I ever read by Kelly Armstrong, so I didn't know what to expect from her. Guys, it says here, I have 96 hours to prepare for my disappearance. And then, let's read the first several lines of the book. Chapter 1. I killed a man, I say to my new therapist. I've barely settled down onto the couch, which isn't a couch at all, but a chaise lounge that looked inviting and proved horribly uncomfortable, like therapy itself. I've caught her off guard with that opening line, but I've been through this before with other therapists, 5 to be exact. Each time the gap between hello and I'm a murderer decreases. By this point you should be glad I'm still bothering with a greeting. Therapists do charge by the hour. You, she says, killed a man? The apprehensive look. I know it well. That moment where they are certain they've misheard, or that I mean it in a metaphorical way. I broke a man's heart, which is technically true. A bullet does break a heart. Irrevocably, it seems. When I only nod, she asks, when did this happen? 12 years ago. Expression number 2. Relief. At least I haven't just killed a man. That would be so much more troublesome. Isn't it awesome? I loved that first chapter. It's like hook and you're done. You're like hooked and you can't, the book did not let you go. I loved the first 100 pages or so because they focused on her story and what happened with the whole her killing a man 12 years ago, and you kind of figure that out. And then because her friend Diane had an abusive ex-husband who still seems to bother her, and the main protagonist Cassie end up going to City of the Lost, where they end up actually applying in like a secretive way and then getting accepted. And because Cassie's a detective, she literally gets thrown headfirst into this huge case because there have been several murders in the town that they're now in, which is City of the Lost. So I was a bit confused by the change in pace because it got so much slower after they end up arriving at City of the Lost. But I didn't dislike it. So it was very interesting to read. The ending was really shocking. I didn't know how she was going to tie it in with everything, but she did it really well. I'm not sure if there's a sequel, but it looks like there could be room for a sequel. And I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. The last book is the one that I'm reading, and I'm almost done with it, so I will be finishing it today. I started it yesterday, so for sure. And it's Shimmer by Paula Weston. This is book 3 in the Refame series. There are 4 books. And this book talks about this girl, Gabby. It opens up with her, living a normal life. She's actually mourning the death of her brother, who passed away a couple of months ago. And she's living on Palm Beach or something, I don't even remember. But then she finds out that she's not really who she thinks she is, and that her memory was actually completely erased and new memories were put in her head, and she's actually a Refame. and they're basically the Nephilims, I think, is that the word? Who are offsprings of the fallen angels. So basically Gabby has to go and find her brother, and like there's these other people, and then there's the outcasts who are also Rephaim, but they don't listen to Nathaniel, who's one of the fallen angels that's trying to find the other 100-something fallen angels that disappeared, and that's the true calling of the Rephaim. Lots of things, but the core of this series are the characters. The characters are so fleshed out, they're so amazing, they're so well written. It reads more as adult YA than like younger YA, which I loved. The writing is superb, everything, like action, nothing is boring. I never feel like I'm bored while reading this book. So this, I can't talk about this third book obviously because there's a lot that happened in the first two. But I am loving the series. If you love the, what's it called? The Angel Fall series by Susan E., you're going to love this one so very much. So yes, I'm very excited to read this one. I'm going to do that right after I'm done filming this video. So these are all the books that I have read in the year of 2016, and this is just a mini review of each one and what I thought about them, because I haven't done wrap-ups in so very long, or any reviews on the YouTube channel, but here's that. And I hope to see you guys in my next video, and I really do hope I can make more videos that are not book hauls. So see you guys soonish. Bye!